Hi, good evening, everybody. Welcome to. Actually, I haven't kept count of what the episode number is. Probably 34 or something, but it's too many to keep count of. But the interesting part is we have a very, very interesting group of guests here tonight. So before I welcome the guests, I just want to say welcome to all the viewers and welcome to Motor Talk with Witzenberg. And if you're Afrikaans speaking, there's Motor Praatjies met Witzenberg. And if you're Xhosa speaking, Byron's going to sort that out with you, not me. We still want to ask
I wish
Byron.
Abdul.
We're just going to ask Byron to do the normal honors as he does every second week or every week. And then we'll introduce you guys to the guests.
Good evening, everybody, and thanks again, as always, to 435 Oils for keeping us on the air and ready. Yeah, we're talking about almost 40 shows here, so thanks, guys, for being coming along with us, and of course, as well, for Bevan Harris. Bevan Harris always keeping us with the videos and keeping us with everything together, and always a big smile on his face when he does this as well. Thanks a lot, Bevan, and that is BH Media that you'll see in the corner of the screen.
Yeah, well, thank you, Byron. And there's so much happening with motorsport nowadays. I mean, a lot of good stuff happening. We just had a Gymkhana not so long ago at Killarney, and it was an awesome turnout. And we actually had to cut the numbers off at 32 because we were going to run out of time anyway. So hopefully we get one more Gymkhana in before the end of the year. And as you guys know, with YQ for Hope and Northlink and Witzenberg Motor Club, we are funding bursaries via motorsport. And that's what we do. And tonight's show was actually a very interesting show. I attended a RC drifting event, I think it was 2 weeks ago or something, in Brackenfell at the YQ head office in Vibrant Road 56, Vibrant Road. And the guests will talk about the upcoming event as well. And I was sitting there and I thought to myself, this is very interesting. And then I was given a couple of cars to try, and my word, was it so difficult to ride. It was absolutely mind-boggling. I thought it would be easier to drive those cars. Trust me, it is absolutely mind-boggling. So now I've got something niggling inside me telling me I've got to sort this out and I've got to get these cars driving. So anyhow, I want to welcome the guests for tonight. And they all represent three different RC, we're going to just call it RC, radio-controlled drifting clubs. And let's start with the gentleman on top there, Mr. Francisco Stembert. Good evening, sir. Welcome to our show tonight, sir.
Good evening. Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, and which club do you represent, Francisco?
So I represent a club called the Eva RC Drift Club. Obviously, we haven't been really active due to COVID, and I think that goes for Nathan and for Clement as well. But fortunately, these guys have been putting in the work behind the scenes and managed to get us another venue, and competitions have started again. So yeah, big ups to Nathan and Clement for making that happen.
Brilliant. Okay, let's go to Clement there quickly. Clement, which club do you represent, and welcome to our show for tonight? Clement,
can you yes?
Okay. Let's maybe Clement, can you hear us? I think his car's making too much noise in the background there.
Hear you now?
Okay, perfect. So welcome to our show tonight, Clement. And we just want to know, what club of RC drifting do you represent?
Okay, I'm representing BRC. I'm from BRC, and we are a small crew of guys that love RC drifting. So our goal is to keep the kids from the streets and bring them into the RC to keep themselves busy with good stuff and not the bad stuff.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And last but not least, we have Nathan there. Nathan, welcome to our show tonight. Nice of all you guys to give up your time for tonight just to come and talk to us about RC drifting. And which club do you represent, Nathan?
I represent Strandfontein. We were called Strandfontein RC Club, but it was renamed to Strandfontein Drift Addicts not too long ago. So yeah, we are addicted to drifting.
What can I say? We addicted to petrol and cars and F-gas and oil and burning rubber and all the rest of the stuff. Byron, you got quite a few comments you got to say hello to a few guys there.
A lot of. It's so lovely, actually. We hardly started the show and comments already started flooding in. And Bob Rock from Durban, welcome to watching the show. Lovely to have you. Vivian Grobler, and he's also just greeting everybody as well as some of our rally folks as well, Andrea Croy, and we had the Croys on the show not too long ago as well. I think it was last week, and they're very much loved guests, and regular listeners and watchers of the show. And then Niels van Wyk from Rally Sprint for All, and he says hello as well this evening. So it's lovely to see that a lot of our motorsport community joining the show tonight.
Okay, I'm going to put out something there for Niels van Wyk. 2 weeks' time, Niels van Wyk would love to have you on the show. Not on Patrick's show, but on our show, because I believe that you're doing some really, really good work out there with the rally, not full on rallying, but the rallying out there. And so just send me a WhatsApp or something, or just contact me via Facebook or whatever, and we'll just book in your diary for now. 2 weeks from now, Wednesday, we're going to have Niels van Wyk on talking to us about rally. I can't get the other part of the name.
Rally Sprint for All.
Rally Sprint for All. Yes, man, wat kan ek sê? My kop is 'n bietjie deurmekaar met almal die RC drifting karre. Okay, so let's start with, Baron, do you have any questions?
I think we should get to the bottom of, the unsung, underrated heroes, I think, of motorsport in my mind, because what happens is RC racing, RC drifting. Now, I always heard of RC racing, but drifting I'd never heard of. And only probably a few weeks ago, for the first time, I heard, they actually drift RC cars. Now, how on earth does that work? I know we were talking before the show. I said, how do you get the directions right if you're standing opposite from, with the RC car coming towards you, and then you've got to think, okay, left is right and left is it. I know Francisco was actually speaking to me off air about that. He's got a nice little way of doing it.
Yeah, Byron,
that's the word I was looking for.
It's very simple, Byron. I can tell you, I did it. It's actually extremely simple. Really, you don't get it right for the first 3 hours. Trust me.
Maybe the first 3 days for me, and then maybe after that then. But
okay, Francisco, let's start with you. Right, the club you represent. What is RC drifting? Just tell us about it. It's like Byron said, it's kind of, I don't think very few people know about what's happening out there. And that's the reason why you guys in the program tonight. Let's go. Just clap it.
So I think that I speak for the other two guys as well. I don't even think this is representing of a club. This is just the love for RC drifting that we all share. Straventain, BRC, as well as the Evo Drift Club, actually all drift at the YQ for Hope Center now. Now that they have a venue, so it's very good to see that all of these guys come from different clubs, different areas. Clement's all the way in the northern suburbs. Nathan is in Straventain, and I'm basically in the close to the main road. So it's very difficult to get these guys to get to a central place and have fun. I just think that it's not just different clubs represented here. It's just the love for RC drifting as a whole. You can see that one of the pictures popping up there is actually at the, I think that is one of the events that Nathan did. So Nathan, I think this is all your pictures there, man.
I can't remember that one. I think that was a
Grand West.
Grand West, yeah. No, I just rocked up there. I was invited and I just rocked up there and caused havoc. Yep, that's what we do.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So maybe we can go to there's some. I mean, these cars look so real. I mean, Byron, you must actually come and have a look at the next event. It's at the YQ Home Center, like they said in Brackenfell, number 56 Viben Road, if I'm not mistaken. And they have this massive screen up there. And the vibe, it's actually in the correct road. The vibe at that place is so hectic. It feels like a small Killarney, actually. With the guys going on there, and these cars are amazing. So, Clement, talk about RC drifting. I mean, it's your guys' passion. Just talk about it. Just tell me what it is. What cars do you guys have? How does this thing work? All those type of things.
Okay, we have Golfs, we have the Caddy, we have the Lamborghini. That's what Uncle Nathan have there. Then we have the Mitsubishi, we have the Skylines. So it's a lot of cars that you can get, like Subaru and all that. And I mean, it's your passion. You get the clear shell. You have to spray it yourself, do it up yourself, modify it to whatever you want to do with it. Once your car is done, your shell is done, you can come and sew off. You can drift it, and yeah, you can just go boss.
Amazing. Look at that skyline. Look at that thing, man. I mean, unbelievable. It looks like a real car. Oh,
Yeah.
amazing. Okay, let's go to Nathan over there. So Nathan, talk to us about RC drifting.
Well, I think it was probably like 2010, maybe later, that I went to this place, Cavendish Square, and there was this group of guys playing with their toys. That's what I thought. It's just toys, playing with the toys. But the way they were throwing it around the track, and it really impressed me. And then years later, I decided, I'm gonna give this a taste. And oh my word, my wallet will never be the same again after that. Because yes, it's expensive sport. It is, and I'm coming from a mountain bike and a diving background and all of that. What sport isn't expensive? But let me tell you, the guys, the friends that you meet, the people that you hang out with, it's next level. Seriously, I've like I said, I've been doing all that other sports, and some of the best buddies that I've met is through RC drifting. So it's
Mhm.
definitely even to this day, you still think about it as toys, and yes, it is toys, but it's very expensive one. So
Yeah.
Just
the price of the toys.
you have, which cars do you have, Nathan?
I have an Express D1, and then I have like the Mia's. I think about 16 or 17 cars the last time I count. I know they breed. When you switch the lights off, they go to Kira, and then the following day is another car. So I don't know where they come from, but they
I wish it could
definitely.
happen to my Gymkhana car that.
You just find another chassis, you build it up, and then this is how it goes. It's just the love of the sport. But cars is only one. I'm into drones and helis and planes as well, but
Oh my
drifting is
word.
definitely. But that sunk its teeth in, and its teeth they just go one way. Teeth can't come out, so it's terminal. Definitely terminal.
Absolutely. Byron, there's a Bob Rock has put up a couple of comments up there. Maybe somebody's got to address some of those comments.
Well, I like this one from Bob Rock over here. It says, RC drifting, like with real drifting, is an art. It's almost like a ballet, and that's how I would describe it.
Yeah, maybe we can get Cisco to talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, look, I think there's various aspects, but the one that Bob's referring to is obviously the way the cars go around a specific course, and it's represent or imitates the real drifting where you have two cars on the track at a time, and the lead car is there down to put the best run possible, and the chase car is there to be as close as possible. So it essentially is like a ballet, but RC drifting is also, like he says, is an art where it's not just related to the driving of the car, it's actually the building of the car, the fabrication, the customizing, and that in its own is a separate addiction to this hobby that we love. Like Clement was saying, you can basically, hey, there's Michel van Woogenband. That guy is actually, just so that you guys know, he was the organizer for the World's event for the last 5, 6, 7 years.
Oh my word.
Yeah, so there was actually a World RC Drift Championship, and that's the organizer that's just jumped onto the show and left a comment there.
Okay, so here's something for you guys. You guys want to have a national? I heard sort of via the grapevine 2 weeks ago, right? But the venue that we have is too small. So I think I spoke to you guys. I'm possibly going to be able to organize an outdoor venue. But you guys must let me know when, because I need to chat to the people. That's going to be awesome. I imagine an outdoor, a national RC drifting event, Byron. Imagine this, bro.
Yeah. So the Nationals has been around for a couple of years now. I think it started in 2012, 2011. I think there was invitationals between Gauteng and Cape Town.
Okay.
When I started out, we kind of reignited the whole national series to obviously get the guys, talking between the Gauteng region, Cape Town region. We got Durban involved, where is Bob Rock's from. And then obviously tried to get the PE and all of those regions. Those regions are a lot smaller in terms of RC drifting, but they're obviously quite big in the racing. But yeah, I think for the last couple of years, besides last year, there's been a nationals every year. In the beginning, it started out as a 3-legged event. So you would do the Cape Town, Durban, and Johannesburg, and all 3 rounds count. So we make it count so that guys don't just attend 2 of the events. You actually get guys to attend all 3. And it wasn't even about the nationals, really. It was just about spending time with your chummies and having a good time for the weekend, you know. I think that was the highlight for me of the nationals calendar, really.
So, okay, let's go to Clement there. I'm very intrigued by the cars. So, I hear when you guys advertise that you have all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive classes, right?
Yeah.
Okay, see, if I talk about Japanese cars and Clement goes away. I don't know. Maybe he's got, okay. Yeah, because he's got the German caddy bucky. I mean, yeah, I can understand that. Okay, let's go to, is Clement back? Let's go to Nathan. Nathan, so
Yes, sir.
you guys have the all-wheel drive and the rear-wheel drive classes, right?
Correct.
Oh, there's Shamima, my friend. Is it Shamima? So this is going to happen at YQ for Hopes, like she said, at the head office in Brackenfell, number 56 Viben Road. And you guys must, what date's the 29th or 28th of November?
28th of November.
It's 28th. And well, later on in the program, you guys will just give us all the details and like, you know, the time that starts, the entry fee, the spectators, most important, what food is available. I mean, that's the most important. I mean, you know, and with the proceeds all go to YQ for Hope, obviously, with a bursary fund to fund underprivileged kids that are involved. They want to get involved with motorsport. Oh, is Clement back? Yeah. Okay, Clement. So the question I had for you was, which do you have? All-wheel drive, front-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive car? What do you drive normally?
I'm all-wheel drive, starting
Okay.
with rear-wheel drive now
Okay.
to join the big boys. But I'm enjoying the all-wheel drive at the moment. In the picture you can see there's like a Dodge, a red Dodge. That's my drift car. The caddy I use just for fun, but I
Okay.
love my dog, and yeah.
Yeah. So you're the American muscle guy. Yeah. You know.
Yeah.
Are those cars as unreliable as the real cars, or are they quite reliable?
You must come and see.
No, I'm just joking because I'm a Toyota guy, so I'm always gonna take the Mickey out of you guys with the BMW, with the German caddies and all the other stuff. So and even Byron, I mean Byron's a Toyota guy, so he's always gonna anyhow. So going to Nathan then. Nathan, are you in the all-wheel drive or the rear-wheel drive?
I'm about a year and a half in the rear-wheel drive now, enjoying it a hell of a lot.
Okay.
I do all-wheel drive as well. Lots of people think the rear-wheel drive is superior or better. I actually think the two are, I would say, equal. It's a completely different skill set. It's like comparing a Formula One driver to a rally car. If you put a Formula One driver in a rally car, he's not gonna be able to handle the car like a rally driver would or F1 driver. So it's a different skill set. I don't think one is superior to the other. It's just a different skill set. I mean, because recently I've kind of got it right to be able to go in between all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive like Cisco's been doing for years now. And it's not easy. You still use the same finger, but it's a different mindset. The car reacts different. It's a whole different setup. And yes, you do lose air, and you get stressed, and you cuss, and you want to throw the car against the wall. But you know that's the fun part of it. Also, it's because it's not just that's one of my cars there. And yes, it's a complicated hobby, and it's lovely, but it can also stress the living daylights out of you, especially when a car is.
Trust me, I was stressed out after 5 minutes. I mean, like, really. I mean, you can ask Cisco there. I mean, like, really, it's honest. You won't believe how difficult it is. But it was so much. But now it kind of grabbed me. So now I'm intrigued. And when I'm intrigued, I want to be able to kind of perfect it. Byron, do you have a video there, Byron?
I do, yes. A video. Let's take a look at our first video.
Maybe I have a video, and then I'm going to come back to Cisco and ask him about the setups of the car, because I found that quite interesting when he was explaining to me the last time.
Oh, this is one of Nathan's videos.
Oh my
God.
Yo. Do you guys ever have like you guys ever have like like they have in real life with the cars that go that they get judged on stance and how loud the
Yeah.
sound systems are? Do you guys there do that as well? The RC cars.
Yeah.
Oh my word! Imagine the attention to
Amazing.
detail on a car like that. I mean,
Yeah, your
everything.
cars there.
I can't hear you.
Even a little mark and scratch, they look at the way you paint it, if your wheels are aligned properly. They
Yes.
pick up on the tiniest little thing. Yeah, it's like really judging.
Oh my word! Cisco, take us through. We were talking
Yes.
about it 2 weeks ago. I mean, tell us the setups of the cars. It was so intriguing, actually. What all the stuff you can do on an RC car and how much difference it actually makes to the car and everything.
Yeah, look, I think these are like we're trying to replicate the real thing. This is a 1:10 scale of the real thing.
Right.
And the geometry and all of that kind of stuff is identical to what what the guys are trying to achieve with the real cars. I mean, I even was chatting to Isaac van Zyl, and we were
Yeah.
talking about Gymkhana cars, and I asked him, did you see the geometry on that 350Z for the
Yeah.
guy that actually won one of the Drift City events? And I said, he asked me, why do you think it's like that? And I said to him, it's probably just to turn the car sharper. So he doesn't care how the car scrubs speed at big angle, because
Yeah.
nobody cares, because the Gymkhana course is really small and tight. But
Yeah.
he's got all of the steering capabilities with the car towed in like it was, and he could basically turn the car on a dime essentially. So it
Right.
was interesting to see that kind of things, and that's exactly what we're trying to achieve with these cars. Is trying to find that balance between the agility, which has good handling, and obviously can hold a sweep as smooth as possible. So the characteristics between these cars and the real cars are very similar. I think Chris Longs alluded to that in his interview with you guys as well. And funny enough, there's a team Weld, who've actually got a lot of development in-house, and they've gone like a 1:10 scale version of that R&D, so that they have a tenth of the scale costing rather than the 1:1 scale.
Yeah. Okay. So that's amazing. So maybe we should. I saw something talking about a show and shine. Vivian Grobler.
Yes.
About the show and shine. It's the bread and butter.
Yeah,
So
he's
maybe
saying-
we should. Yeah.
He's saying
He's
it's
the
his bread
Jedi.
and butter because he's actually the world champion for show and shine
He's
In
Yoda.
RC cars.
in RC cars.
Yes.
Okay. So how come we didn't have a show and shine at in Brackenfell yet?
There was. It was on the table in the front when you come in. But it wasn't actually a full-on
Oh.
competition. The guys were displaying their cars there, but it wasn't actually a detailed competition. The show and shine that
Okay.
he's referring to, what I'll do, Abdul, is I'll send you some pictures of the build that he's completed for the World Championships. And it was in 2019 when him, myself, Bob Rock, and Ziad, we went down to the World Championships, and he actually won the World Championship for show and shine.
Oh
For show and
my
shine,
word.
they call it concourse in for RC drifting. Yeah.
Concourse. Okay. Yes, I'm learning so much. Byron, you look like you're intrigued. For the first time I've seen you on the program, you're lost for words, my friend.
The thing is, Abdul, I know Nathan was talking about it earlier on that, these are toys, but they're not just any ordinary toy. And what happens is this is serious business. And this is what I'm going to show everybody now, because a number of big legends have started or have actually been involved in RC car racing. What happens is you see a picture of Lewis Hamilton. He did a little bit of RC car racing. Of course, that's the 7-time world champion himself, and the greatest all time in the standings as far as Grand Prix racing is concerned. We have Ayrton Senna, the late Ayrton Senna, 3-time Formula One world champion, who was very big into airplanes as well, but he was big into his RC planes, boats, and cars. And here's a lovely picture as well over here. The John Player Special livery on that machine as well. And let me just tell you one thing. This is serious business. There's two guys. There's 10 Formula One World Championships between the two of them. And what happens is these are guys that appreciate, the world of RC racing and RC motoring. And I think what happens is it's the finer skills. And when you hear about people saying, "Oh, but those, those are just toys." It's not that at all. This is proper, serious racing. This is motor racing. This is it, and that's what I said. You classify it.
So, Clement, the cars that you guys drive are electric motors. Am I correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about those. I mean, those things are extremely quick. I mean, you just touch that throttle and those cars kind of like launch. Like it's
Yes,
unbelievable.
it's about your setup. You get brass setup and you get brushless. And I don't know if Cisco can correct me, you get brushless with censored cable. So yeah, it's all about your setup that will give you your speed that you want. But also drifting is not about the speed. Is It's about can you keep your car sideways.
And the answer for me is absolutely no. I can't even go left or right.
Abdul,
Oh,
I
my
think
God.
when we were driving in Kenilworth Center, we used to drive at the undercover parking before the whole revamp happened and all of that.
Yeah, yeah.
And boys will be boys. We always want to push the envelope. We put rubber tires on our drift cars, and with the brushless setups that we were running at the time, we wanted to compare it against a petrol car, because I mean that's what you do. Like boys will be
A
boys.
petrol RC car.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Okay.
So we did this comparison, and we ran the cars to the furthest point where we could see them, and obviously not lose them. And we ran them head to head as a drag race. And the RC car, the electric RC car, outran the petrol car, and that's only because the petrol car had to build to its torque, whereas the electric car had its power available to it from the get-go.
Yeah, the only worry I have now in South Africa, I mean, if I have an RC drift car and it's electric, I mean, I don't know where I'm going to charge the batteries, but I'm going to have to buy a big generator to charge the batteries. Okay, so Nathan, talk about tires here.
Hey,
You spoke about rubber tires. So do you get other stuff besides rubber tires?
Yeah,
Yes,
there's
you do get the plastic tires.
yeah, there's different compounds for drift tires as well. You get hard, soft, medium. It depends what you want to drift on, and also how you want the car to handle. If you want fast exit speed, if you are very small, tight technical track, it's basically it's the same. Like Cisco said, you need to, if you have a very fast grippy track, you're going to use a tire accordingly, and it's the same with RC drifting. If you're going to drift on tiles, you need a bit more, you need a bit less traction, or vice versa. And if you're drifting on carpet or concrete, you also need to make the adjustments as well with your shocks and everything like that. So it's a tuning, and it's just like it is in real racing. You have to do the same, just scale 10 times down. That's all.
Yeah, it's absolutely. Yeah, it's actually so intriguing for me, honestly. I mean, like I said, I just saw the cars and I was intrigued. But when I saw the setup of the suspension and the motors and you name it, I mean, and the small screwdriver, the guys are tuning this and turning that. I thought, unbelievable. And the gears they change for the ratios. So Cisco, I think when I was talking to you, you were talking to somebody about you must change some cog or something, and it's too tight or something's happening. And I was like, you can change the ratios. I mean, I can't even believe what you guys are talking about. I mean, it's like, really, just talk a little bit about that as well. It was so intriguing for me.
So it's exactly like the crown and pinion on your diff. You're doing the same stuff on the RC cars, where the internal ratios remain the same because you don't change the side gears. We're just changing the pinion and the crown.
Yeah.
So on our cars, we change the pinion and the spur, which is tied to the gearbox. And obviously the gearbox has got its own internal ratio. So with RC drifting, the easiest and the quickest way to tune the car without going the electronic route is the mechanical route, by changing the gearing. So on a slippery surface, generally you want a smaller pinion, and you want a bigger spur because you want to be controlling that power throughout the rev range. And on a carpet surface,
because it's slippery. Am I correct?
Because it's slippery, yes.
Okay.
And on a carpet surface, you want a bigger pinion because now you have a little bit more grip available to you. So you want to be spinning up the motor to keep the car going sideways. So it's a little bit of a balancing act. You can't go too much the one way because then you have too much of one thing. and you can't go too much the other way because then you have too much of the other. So finding that medium ground is where you need to be. It also depends on the course, of course. If the course is not allowing for you to get to maximum speed, then you need to gear a bit shorter so that you can actually get to that maximum speed before actually running out the RPM, that kind of thing. So it's exactly like the real stuff when you're trying to piece together the puzzle to make sure that you have the best package on the day.
So just tell me, Byron, do you have any videos you want to play quickly, or?
I think it would be good time for a video, actually.
Cool.
Here's another one that will show.
Okay, cool.
Very nice. Very expensive camera there.
Was that Abdul doing that?
No, it wasn't me.
No.
Trust me.
I thought 3 hours you would have been, but it's more serious than that. There we go.
No, you can put me in my front wheel drive Conquest, and I'll do that on a real car around the bollard with a handbrake. But on that thing, and trust me, I couldn't even go in a straight line, Byron. Believe me. So
No, that looks particularly intricate and difficult. Definitely.
That's awesome, and these guys make it look so easy. So I just want to. I have a couple of questions, maybe. So. You know what? I saw Shamima come on earlier on, Shamima Brito from YQ Holdings and YQ for Hope. Shamima, maybe I want to send you the guest link quickly, and if we can put you on the show for 2 or 3 minutes, and you can just talk about the upcoming event, because you know all the details. It would be nice to have one of the directors of YQ for Hope and YQ Holdings just to come and say hi, and just send me a note send me a WhatsApp. You have my WhatsApp number, and I'll send you the link. And you can just log in. I'm sure Byron can get it to talk for a couple of minutes and just say, talk to us about the event that's coming up on the 29th. What do you guys say? 29th of November?
28th.
28th.
Sunday the 28th.
Yeah, Sunday the 28th of November. If you want to do it, just send me a WhatsApp. We'll take it from there. But while Shamima's deciding what she wants to do, why did you guys actually start RC drifting? And why did you do real cars? I mean, like, maybe I would start with Clement. Why RC drifting? I mean, it's really.
Okay, I was into real cars, like that was street racing. And when I started having my own family, I thought, no, man, this is not the way to go. And I met Nathan and Uncle Lincoln. And that's where I started loving RC. And my one buddy, Brandley, he was into that. And I always look at him when I go cut my hair by him while he's playing with his cars instead of cutting my hair. So I was like, dude, what are you doing? And when he showed me the guys, and
I see your haircut. He's busy playing with his cards while he was giving you a haircut. Imagine the haircut he was given. Sorry, Clement, I had to say that.
Yeah, so I met Nathan at Crane West, and I started YouTubing it. That's where I met Bob Rock, and I saw Vivian, and then I Googled those guys, and I saw no, but they're not from Cape Town. And then when I did my homework properly, I met Cisco. And that's where I started meeting the family, and I ever since love it.
So how long ago did you actually start?
2 years.
2 years ago. And you look like you're into it full on. I mean, like full force.
Yeah, and I have 39 cars.
Oh my word. How am I going to go there? Nathan, when did you start and why did you start and why RC drifting?
I've always been a technical person. I'm a toolmaker by trade, so anything that's mechatronics is nothing, electronics and the whole mechanical, electrical field. I've always enjoyed it, and I've always enjoyed model building from a young age. And having models that could actually do what real cars could do was, like I said, I saw Cisco them years ago at Cavendish when, this was, like you said, even before the mall was revamped. And when I saw what these little cars were doing, I told myself, I'm going to get around to it. And eventually I did. And since 2016, I've been doing it. But I build them, I modify them, I do my own 3D printing. And it's just, I'm just enjoying it. It's just so much. And it's not just cars, it's helicopters, it's boats, it's drones. Yeah, I've got serious issues. My issues have issues.
Yeah, but you have seriously good issues. That's the nice part. It's not it's something it's keeping you busy, out of mischief, and that's the most important. You have a passion for it. So, actually, something this I wanted to. Oh yes. So how we saw some of these cars for the first time is, on the corner of Wetton Road and Rogemont Avenue, there's a big BP garage there,
Yes.
and there's a hobby
Dreamers
shop. I
Hobby
think
Shop.
they're next to the
Dreamers.
pizza place. I don't know the name of the place.
Dreamers.
Dreamers. Okay, so I didn't
Yeah.
frequent Dreamers. I frequented the pizza place. That was my hobby, eating pizzas. And I used to go to the pizza place, and these guys, like in the parking lot there, they used to have like a little track, and they used to, hunt a kid like you always. And I didn't really. I just used to. I thought that's quite interesting. It actually never ever attracted me until I came to like 2 weeks ago, and I thought that's quite interesting. So that's what that when I saw it for the first time. So yeah, coming back
It
to
was
you. Yeah, was it you guys?
Yeah, that
Yes.
was us. That Friday nights was
Oh.
our jams.
Oh my word! If I had known,
I
okay,
think
but
I sent you a video of where we interacting outside. That's me and Uncle Nathan, and that's in front of them.
Yeah.
oh
We
my
would,
word!
we would
Okay,
get
but I
coffee
didn't.
from McDonald's and
Yeah.
the pizza next door.
But you see, Byron, that time they was bias seer. They didn't even smile, so I didn't even want to talk to them. When I met him,
So
when I met
serious
him
these
at,
guys were, Abdul. You can't
yeah,
break
when
it. You
I
can't
met
break the
him,
concentration.
when I met him at Brackenfell, they were like much more like relaxed and smiling, and I'm just teasing you guys.
That's not true.
Francisco, tell us now, I was just teasing you.
Southern
Just tell us-
suburbs, that brings it out of people,
tell us, and you, when did you get into it?
Sure. I
And why?
started 2009. That's when I started RC drifting. And I was really inspired by a lot of the guys that led the RC drifting and exposed RC drifting in South Africa, really.
Right.
So I got introduced by Harvey to RC drifting, and then my brother, and
Harvey
we
from
just
Harville.
were Harvey from not from there. No, Harvey is basically he's a guy that's running with the drifting with Good Hope Construction. He does he's part of their judging panel and stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, so I was introduced by him and guys like from D10 and all of those guys. Shafiq Abrams, he was the chairman of the Evo RC Club at the time, and yeah, basically I got involved with RC drifting. Myself and Robert were driving for years TTO1s against all of these pro chassis, and that's only because we couldn't really afford the other stuff, and
Right.
it was all gem chem, super glue, and whatever we can get really to just get the cars going on the day. And
Right.
that's how it started, and I think that's how it starts for many of us. From there, it obviously escalated. I then became involved with the Evo Drift Club, with many hobby shops around the country, seeking sponsorships for the essays. I think the first essays we ran was 2012 or 2011. I can't remember. That was 2 years after I started, and then 2012, I think we ran the first one, and it's been running ever since. And that was with the various regions. And in 2017, I was lucky enough to go to the World Championships. From like everybody in South Africa just put some money together, and I was able to go. Thankfully, it was an amazing experience. I came back. I finished 18th out of over 100 people
In the whole world.
In the whole world.
Oh
And
my
then
word!
I
We're
went
sitting here with a celebrity, Byron.
Yeah. I then went in 2019 again, and then in 2019 it was only rear-wheel drive, and I managed to finish 8th in the world with over 300 competitors.
Nah, definitely a celebrity. Yeah.
So that was my highlight of my RC career, if you want to call it that. But yeah, we ever since then, obviously COVID's happened and a whole lot of other stuff. So we were just trying to really
here's my story.
if you want to call it that.
So I was riding your cars last time. Am I correct? 2 weeks ago.
Yes, I
No,
think so.
mine.
Oh, Nathan's.
Nathan.
It was Nathan.
It was Nathan's cars. And okay, before we get to Nathan's cars, Shamima, how you, my girl?
Hi everyone, salam. I'm good, and you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. So okay. So thank you, Byron, for getting on the show. So you guys all know Shamima. She's one of the directors of YQ for Hope, and it's also YQ Holdings. So maybe Shamima can just tell us in a couple of minutes what's happening on the 28th of November. I see, yeah, there's the poster. But just take us a little bit more through what's happening on the day. What time is it starting? Is there food available? That's most important. You know, that's I mean, we know all these things. So maybe Shamima can just take us through that. Where is it happening? How are you guys involved with this whole thing?
Hi everyone, thanks for having us and for creating the opportunity for us to share these guys' passion with everyone. So the event will be taking place at our office at 56 Viben Avenue on the 28th of November. It's just not about the competition. The guys come out, they have fun, they create a vibe. I think sometimes they even forget they're challenging each other. But yeah, there will definitely be food. I put that
Yep.
on the list first because I keep
Yep.
you in mind. So most of the all of the proceeds made goes towards a good cause. I mean, there is a lot of motorsport people out there, and over the last three events or two events, we've created so much awareness and interest to an extent where I'm actually considering us having to start a little league for the little ones at some point. So there's a lot happening, a lot we're working on, but we'll get there. The support has been great. So yeah, one event at a time.
Yes. So just take us the date, the 28th of November. It's a Sunday. What time does it
Yes.
start?
We probably, I think, start about 10. Yes.
10
Yeah.
o'clock. And then what time is the guys that want to take participate? They need to obviously enter. And
Yeah, look,
what time
if
must
they
they
can
be
be
there?
there by 9, for the latest to sign in and get everything ready so that we can start the event on time. We
Okay.
don't really have a close, what time it ends, because we're there until everybody's uitgekeier.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's basically it.
That's the vibe, yes. And then obviously the spectators, what is the entry fee that you guys charge for the entry?
The entry fee, it's on the poster. We'll just share it with everybody. Yes, spectators 10 rand and the entry fee is 50 rand, if I'm not mistaken.
Brilliant. That's definitely the cheapest form of motorsport, I can tell you that.
Most definitely.
Absolutely. Okay, so I want to add to that because maybe if for the petrol heads, there's some interesting cars, real life cars there as well. There's a Chevy Nova that belongs to the YQ Holdings. YQ Holdings. It's probably, if I'm not mistaken, one of two or maybe even the only two-door Chevy Nova in South Africa. So you guys really want to come see this car? Was completely restored. This car starts and it sounds it's absolutely amazing. Some really interesting cars there. There's a beautiful black Super Boss original, obviously modified, but a beautiful car. All these cars drive and they start. There's a Mini that one of the Gymkhana champions has been using for a while. There's a Mini, a beautiful car. There's a couple of other Toyotas there for the Toyota heads like me. I mean, we love our Toyota, so come and have a look. It's going to be an awesome vibe. You guys know that's where I got intrigued with these RC cars. Okay, Shamima, is anything else that you want to add on to that, maybe, and tell the
And not
viewers what
really.
they can expect?
I'll see you guys on the 28th. Look, you can't tell them. You need to come and experience it for themselves. So I'll see you then.
Brilliant. Okay, Shamima, thank you so much for coming on last minute on the show. That's what the show is about. It's a spontaneous show. It's not a TV show. It's just we do it as our heart tells us. That's what we do, basically. So thank you so much for
So
joining us, and we're going to get back
it's
to
a pleasure.
the RC guests here and talk about their cars a little bit here. Okay, Shamima, thanks.
Bye-bye. No
Okay, bye.
problem. Cheers.
Bye.
Cheers. Okay, so yeah, where did we end off? It was Nathan. So
Yeah, you got a cool car.
I can't even remember what car. I was so dear my car. Another one was a rear wheel drive car. The car started off first.
Yeah, that was a 180 SX.
Yes, the Nissan SX, and then you gave me the all-wheel drive car, and then anyhow. So talking about RC drifting and the young people out there, because there's a lot of youngsters out there. Is it very expensive to get into the sport? I mean, if you want to get in as a someone that doesn't have a lot of money, someone that wants to have some fun, how do you guys? Maybe you guys can all answer that question. Maybe I'll start with Nathan, and then go to Cisco, and then go to Clement.
Yeah. The sport can be expensive if you don't do your homework before buying, because
Okay.
sometimes you can go to a hobby shop and pay an exorbitant amount for a very basic car that can just about drift or do the things. Or you could go on Facebook Marketplace or wherever the place and speak to people that know about these cars and spend a fraction of the amount for something that's already been modified and set up for drifting. So
Okay.
it's just about going to the shop. I mean, if your pockets are deep enough, you can do that, but you're going to be making a lot of expensive mistakes. And you can start at the bottom, like Cisco said, with a TPO1. Because I mean, you can do amazing things with a piece of plastic. I mean, trust me, that thing can really kick rear end if you know how to apply yourself, and especially if you have the type of knowledge that's in the circle that we have. I mean, these guys, they'll put down their cars to help you get your car sorted. That's just
Amazing.
how car guys are in general.
Yeah.
And if you need anything, whatever, they'll help you out if they can. They probably, they definitely will. So it's not you, like I said, you can start on a shoestring and you can still have fun. And I mean, my saying about that is always, it's not the hardware, it's the software. You can enjoy yourself with a 500 rand car, and you can have a total lot of fun where you can spend 10,000 rand on a car and not enjoy yourself at all.
Absolutely.
So
Like
it's how
that.
you see it. That's definitely how you see it. I mean, I enjoy all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive just as much. And I mean, there's a big price difference between the two. Rear-wheel drive can get very expensive. It does require a different skill set, maybe a little bit more skill. But all-wheel drive is fun. It's faster. It's technical. If you want to go Ken Block style of Gymkhana, then you would go all-wheel drive. If you want to go real precise and technical and place your car accurately, then you go rear-wheel drive. So that's two completely different mindsets, different cars, setup, and different depth of pocket too.
Okay. So Cisco, I already said plastic. Does it mean you get something else beside plastic?
Yes. So
Oh my
the pro
word.
chassis are all carbon fiber and aluminium.
Oh my word.
And
This
and
never
obviously
stops.
that obviously comes down to cost, and that comes down to the way the cars are built. The new cars are all built with lighter weight aluminium, as Nathan can attest to. So guys are building cars now that is aluminium carbon fiber, but wanting it lighter. So some guys are actually going back to the plastic so that they can still have the lightweightness, if you want to call it that. So yeah, it's just finding that balance, eh? You want to go as light as possible, as durable as possible, with the most power as possible. That's
Okay.
essentially what the
So
racing is about, I guess.
so if it's too light, do you get a lot of wheel spin with those things?
Yes, of course. And that's where Nathan's saying this: the software is in these cars you have a little ECU that delivers the power to the motor, and you can set it exactly like you tune a car's ECU. How
You
you want
gotta
the
be
power
kidding
band.
me.
So
You
when
gotta
you're
be
on the
kidding me.
28th, I'm going to show you. I didn't get to
My
show you at the
word.
last event, but I'll show you at the
Yeah.
next one.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
Nathan was keeping me so stressed out there with his cars. I mean, when I came home, I took two, what do you call it, stuff, Valiums, and when I go to sleep, I couldn't even drive these things. I mean, I drive a real car, and I can't drive these place. Well, supposedly toy cars. So
Yeah.
it's
So it's
unbelievable.
exactly like Nathan says. Like the application is, if you want to go and start out in this hobby, you can start out very cheap. If you want
Yeah,
to be competitive in this hobby, you can
yeah,
be sure to dig deep into your pockets to be super competitive.
amazing.
And that's just how it unfortunately is at the end of the day, especially with rear wheel drive. All wheel drive you can get away with the TTO1 with decent brushless setup, and you can make it work. Rear wheel drive is slightly a little bit more technical because it has all of these if you want to call it nuances,
Yeah.
where the software controls how much wheel speed is, and you can control how much wheel speed you get at various stages through the rev range. Through that
Oh,
rev range, you can tell it where the boost needs to come in. Through that, you can tell it where the turbo needs to come in. So it's like these things are they're not just toys. They
absolutely.
are machines. Yeah.
And please don't tell me you have dynos for the RC cars. I'll leave the show. I promise
Yes,
you.
we do.
No way! This is not possible. This is not possible. Are
We have
you
tire
serious?
warmers as well.
Yes,
No.
Yes,
we
we
do.
do. We can tune our cars on laptops and cell phones. So yeah,
Clement, nee man, julle maak my kop draai nou. Ernstig. 30, you have 39 cars, right? Am I right?
yeah, yes.
39. What is the most enjoyable fun car for you out of that 39? I know it's a difficult question.
It's my dog. The one. It was at the com. It was something I wanted to do myself,
The Dodge.
and then I will always go to Nathan. Where I ask him, can I strip the color? What do I use to remove the color? Can I respray a shell that was sprayed already? And he will always help me. So this one I sprayed white, but it's almost like he knocked a person. So there's a lot of blood over, even on the wheel dashboard.
GTA.
Oh my word. No, Byron, you said like 3 words the whole show. I can't be. Byron normally
3
talks the most.
words.
Like, really. You must have some questions, Byron. This is blowing my mind.
I think the videos and the pictures speak for themselves. I think I got to play another video.
Okay, cool. We have like 8 minutes left.
Okay, guys, first battle. Are you ready? Watch the lights. Okay, guys, second one. Watch the lights.
I
What
don't know.
control?
I have no words, honestly. I really have no words. I just remember Nathan last week, he was so perturbed and stressed out when he gave me the car. He said, next time you drive the cars, I'm putting a roll cage in this thing. 'Cause oh, my word. Cisco. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So this is a big, I mean, like all motorsport. I mean, we do the same with the Gymkhana. You know, one of our goals, obviously, like you guys know, is supporting, giving out bursaries funded by motorsport. And in that way, and I'm not talking about driving just, I'm talking about, other aspects of motorsport as well. You know, there's car building, there's spray painting, there's welding, there's whatever you name it, there's ECU tuning, whatever. So
Yeah.
for the youth out there, right, I mean, I think this is an absolutely perfect way of, getting them out of those, I don't know, the bad places that we are in, the youth of today, and getting them to do something that's constructive with their lives. How are you guys as RC drifters? And I'm going to ask the same question to all three of you. So I'm just going to start with Cisco. What are you guys doing as far as that is concerned in your community, maybe? I mean, can we invite more of these guys over to the next event? What, tell us about a little bit about it.
Yeah, look, I think that was one of my it's probably one of my things to do before I hang up the remote. Inspire one or two people to be a better driver, inspire one or two people to be a better drifter. But these things don't just teach you patience; they teach you hand-eye coordination. So I was looking at various opportunities to even introduce this into like an occupational therapy, if you want to call it that, where people that have had injuries on their hands and it's affected their hand-eye coordination to almost do some sort of rehabilitation. But life happens, unfortunately, and you don't have enough money to support those big ideas. So myself, Robin, and a few other guys have spoken about this, about opening up a venue that is not going to cost us anything, where it's open to everybody. They come and drive when they need to, and it obviously is accessible to school groups, where these things can be taught, and eye coordination, go around the cone in a figure eight, do it in a square shape, for example, do it in a rectangular shape. So it's not just and these things can be learning experiences for the youth out there. But yeah, there's just so many things out there that we could do with RC drifting.
Absolutely. Maybe you was answer that comment there, Cisco.
Yeah.
Well, you taught me everything I know about drifting.
Taught me.
No, that's Vivian. He's in Pretoria. Myself and Vivian have yes, definitely. Definitely. We've actually got a guy that works at my wife's work. Sorry, Vivian, before I get back to you.
Andrew Croy, yes.
Yes. So there's actually a gentleman that works with my wife, and he comes to the comps like all the time. And he's autistic, and he's like our biggest supporter. He's there at every event. He's there cheering the guys on, and these guys have a wealth of knowledge. If you tell him what car this is, he'll go and Google it if he doesn't know, and he'll come back 10 minutes later to tell you the specs, the year model, the engine size, and all of that kind of thing. And there's definitely we can definitely teach somebody that with autism. Definitely.
I want to just comment on that autism quickly, because Andrea was on the show last week with Patrick and them talking about rallying and autism, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm very intrigued. I mean, if you gave an autistic person a RC car, I mean, they're extremely intelligent. Their thought patterns are way different to our thought patterns. Yeah. They would probably set up that car in a way that we would least expect it. So maybe going on to Nathan there. Same question, Nathan. Your take, my friend, about the youth and RC drifting.
Well, that's what I actually have been doing since I actually got into the game. I'm sure I've introduced and also got some of my poor buddies also into this RC, to the detriment of their relationship with their wives. Quite a few guys. I'm not really not popular I'm popular with the buddies, I would say, but not with their wives, because whenever they see me, it's like, oh, you're going drifting again, So yeah, there's the dark side to drifting as well, where you're always in trouble, just the depth that varies. So I've always enjoyed. I wouldn't call myself a competitive drifter. I'm not really into competitions that much. I'm more of a gymkhana drifter myself in any case. So I would do obstacle courses and things like that, same as rally. And my paycheck in this whole RC thing is getting someone into the sport for a sucker, getting him into the sport, and then watching him progress to a level where he would rearrange the track at first, and then he would miss corners, then he would start clipping, and even the terminology, transitioning and apexing, clipping, and to watch that process from a complete noob to someone that wants to pull you out on a track just a few months later. That is what I get out of the sport. And I'm not too big on competitions. I'll do them and I enjoy them, but that's not me. I want to see that guy who looks at that car and is like, wow, that car's cool. And then a few months from them has his own car and he's, doing it, not just seeing it, but actually doing it.
Aha. Andrea, Clement. Yeah, Clement, you are going to address that quote, that comment there. The wives get involved as well. Shared interest can improve a relationship. I agree with that.
With my wife, I talk about RC. She will tell me, there's a bunch of clothes. I think you need to go and drop with the iron. So then I must go and do my homework. But if you keep your wife happy and the house is happy, then yeah, no problem.
were you one of the youth that got attracted to the sport through
Nathan
through,
and
through
yes,
Nathan and Cisco?
Nathan and Lincoln and Brunley.
Okay. So that's kind of where you came, how you got into the sport. And you know what? I like the group of guys. I mean, I saw you guys last week. It's kind of the same with Gymkhana, Byron. You have one big family.
Mm.
And Bob Rock says it true. We are trying to get more females into the sport as well. Just as a matter of interest, there, Bob, in the Gymkhana with a real cause, we have a class dedicated to females. So we have a class where the navigator, if the navigator and the driver is a female, they go into a specific class. And maybe that should be, well, you don't have a navigator obviously in a RC car, but we could maybe have a separate class for them, and that would be quite cool. And that's how you
Make the
attract.
food.
No, don't make
No,
the food.
don't do
The
that.
wives, the husbands will make the food. The wives will drive the cars now. Okay.
What we
I know
what we did do
Cisco's daughter
one
can
year,
actually drive.
Uh-oh.
Abdul.
Check this comment
What's
first
that?
before
Sorry?
we check this comment here. We're
Yeah.
gonna address this. Okay,
I'm
whose
not
wife is
addressing
this?
anything. That's not my wife.
That is Cisco's wife, right? Am I right, Francisco?
Yeah, that's my wife.
Okay, can you please address that question?
Look,
Oh,
I think Nathan and Clement can attest to this. I think the wives do give us a lot of time to do this hobby that we love so much. They offer up a lot of their time for us to be able to share that. I was lucky enough to go to a few national events with my wife and my daughter, so I do miss it. I think that's part and parcel of the hobby and the family, if you want to call it that. Yeah, so it's I do miss that side of things where we get to share this hobby with other friends and their wives and kids.
brilliant, brilliant, guys. We're out of time. Byron, one last question from your side, and I'm gonna end of the show with a guest quickly.
No, I think it's been quite an insightful evening of a subject that most of us and many people that are probably listening haven't don't know much about. And what happens is, I'm all for grassroots motorsport, entry level motorsport as well. And I think what happens is RC car drifting, racing, and being involved looks like what a great way to start a journey in motorsport. Whether you move into other forms of motorsport or not even stay in, we're talking about something that has world championships, and that's how serious it is. And it's been lovely to hear about.
Okay, so guys, just to end off, very quickly, what is the way forward? Starting with Clement.
To keep you sideways.
Okay, that's well said. That's well said. But as a newcomer, if I was a complete newcomer, I got no idea what's happening. Who do I contact? Who do I get a hold of? What do I do? That
Okay,
type of thing.
you will have me, Cisco, and Nathan. We always do. We even have our own WhatsApp group where you can ask your whatever you need. Like if there's something wrong with the car, Cisco will assist you. Nathan will also give a comment, and yeah. So we will always help where we can. And normally when one part breaks, you can't replace that part because you have to buy the whole kit just to replace one part. So then we have the guys there that will have a part or two just to help out. Like if you must now buy dog bone, a dog bone doesn't come with one; it comes with a set. So you will have to buy
Okay.
the whole set just to replace that one. So that's where we come in to help each other. Nathan is busy there with 3D printing and stuff, so he will always help us out with a couple of parts. And if you can't find it, you just press Nathan's number, and then yeah, you have it.
That's
Okay. Nathan, so if I'm like I said, a new guy, if I want to buy a car, do I first speak to you guys before I buy a car?
Yeah, definitely do your homework first. There are off-the-shelf cars that you can just example. You can go to Dreamers, Speed Models, any one of those places. You can just go and speak to them. The guys will be very honest with you and tell you, okay, this is, they'll ask you what you need, what you require, and then obviously take it from there.
Okay.
It can get expensive, like Cisco said, if you're going to take it to a competition level. But do your homework before buying it and know exactly what it is that you want to do with it. Do you just want to have fun? Do you want to drift with the guys? Do you want to, maybe call out so you're in a challenge and stuff like that? It's all going to depend on not just the amount of money that you put into it, but you need to do, like I said, you need to do your homework, read up,
Hmm.
speak to people before you actually buy. Because in the past, I've found that lots of guys have this idea of RC drifting that is just taking a car out of the box, charging the batteries and then riding it. That's as far as it can get from the truth. It doesn't. It takes you a good couple of hours to even just learn how the car works. And drifting it the way some of the other guys have been drifting it for years doesn't happen overnight. It takes a lot of practice, a lot of patience, a lot of help from outside as well. And it's a skill level that you need to learn. It's not something that you can just learn overnight. It takes a
Yeah.
while.
Okay. Nathan, Cisco, just in closing. So, entry level, what do you think the cost would be? Can you
I
buy it?
think
Can you buy a
second.
second-hand car? Can you get like if you're really a lighty, he's at school. He hasn't got a huge budget. So, what do you think?
I think Nathan. I think the going rates for TTO ones and that kind of stuff now is like 1.5 completely running with fishing rod DX and all of that.
Okay.
So I do think that you can get it for 1.5 if you're lucky. Obviously, there's some people that's not there to sell it at a stupendously cheap price. Ziad's
Right.
just sent a message as well that he's prepared to help with setup as well. Ziad was one of the guys that attended the World Championships with us as well. He's in Matric at the moment, so I don't know if he's going to make the next event. I hope that he is. So let's just hope it's in between papers for him.
Yeah, that's his break. You have to have a break. You can't just keep on writing. You're gonna, you have to take a break. That's important. That's his break time.
Yeah, it's on a Sunday, so maybe if he's not
Yeah.
writing the Monday, he will make it.
It's all about planning, eh?
Yeah. So, like I say, the you can probably get it for about 1.5 to 2,000 rand. Then you can get something at least to get you going. But I think speak to the right guys that's in the game. They will give you that little bit of experience and a little bit of help in the right direction. They also have paid their school fees with these things. So don't go make the same mistakes they did. Rather just speak to them first and then take it from there.
So just a simple calculation I did now. If it costs you 1,500 rand to get into RC cars drifting, if the youngster is smoking and his average packet of cigarettes costs him 40 rand and he smokes one packet a day, it will take him 37 and a half days if he stops smoking to get 1,500 rand. That's like just
There
over
you
a
go.
month. In over a month, he can get into racing. You can smoke afterwards again. But just think about how cheap that is. Really.
Yeah.
And most
Then you
youngsters
smoke
don't
tires.
smoke. Excuse me?
Just smoke tires then.
Exactly.
Better smoking.
Yeah.
That's
Okay,
better
guys.
type of smoking, if you
Yeah,
ask me.
absolutely. Pardon, are we going to end up with the video? Or is there
Yes, we
any
are.
closing anybody want to say before we close the show?
I was just gonna say now, Abdul, that Nathan also makes tires not even at he makes it at cost price.
Oh my word.
And then he gives it to the guys to actually just throw into their RC cars and actually have some fun as well. So, and I think it's like $50 a set or something. I can't even remember the price the last time he was selling those things,
80.
Nathan. But
80.
80 rand a set. Yeah, and those things last like a year if you're driving on smooth surfaces.
Yeah. Okay, Nathan,
so-
I'm gonna give you my size of my Gymkhana car tires. It's 13 inch. Can you make that? I can pay like 800 rand if it's a 110 scale. Am I right? 110 scale. So if I take it up 10 times, $800. That's a good deal. I can tell you now already. It's a good deal. No, I'm just teasing. I know it's not gonna work. Yeah. So, Cisco, sorry, you were saying before I rudely interrupted you there about Gymkhana tires.
No, I was just saying like the guys have gone through this route of trying to make things as cheap as possible and as accessible as
Absolutely.
possible.
Absolutely.
Some of the parts on the older chassis that you can't get anymore, Nathan actually goes and redraws them and 3D prints them.
Oh my
So he
Mm.
spends that time investing that money in getting the parts actually
Yes.
built
Yes.
and printed, just so that the guys can get mobile again. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So I think if anybody wants to get a hold of them, I do have their numbers. So maybe you can just leave a I don't know, leave something on our Facebook page or something, or get hold of Byron. I don't know. You can always get hold of, or
Yeah.
just check Witzenberg Motor Club, and
Mhm.
I'll gladly forward you guys numbers. And I think just in closing to say that, first of all, thank you very, 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 very much for being here tonight. It was very insightful. I mean, I learned a lot. And thanks to the viewers for watching and all the comments. It was absolutely awesome. The vibe was good as usual. And more importantly, I think it's important for you guys that are in Cape Town to be there on the 28th of November. That's kind of where you get the insight, to what's happening in RC drifting. And that's going to be the start of something really big for everybody. So once again, guys, thank you so much for being on the show tonight. I wish you guys well. I'll definitely probably see you guys on the 28th of November. Yeah, it just depends. We might have a Gymkhana on the 27th. I'm not sure yet. So yeah, but all the best for you guys. I wish you well on your journey, and who knows, we can have a couple of these shows in the next couple of months with different faces. Maybe the young guys that just started, we can talk about that, or maybe just dedicate one show to talking about how to set up an RC car. How would that be? I mean, that would be an interesting show. Just talk about only setup. I mean, it would be really
Yeah.
cool. Okay, so guys, thank you so much. Have a wonderful
Thank you
evening.
very much for having us.
Thank you
It's
so much.
absolute pleasure. It was really insightful. And Baden, thank you for you and the sponsors for making
It's
the
always
show
a pleasure.
possible.
Thanks, guys.
And there is a show next week. I'm not sure who's on the show next week, Baden.
I've got to find out for next week, but I think I know only later in the month. So let's see. I'll have to find out, and keep watching our Facebook page and our YouTube channel.
Okay, and then the following week, I asked. I just told Niels now on the in the beginning of the show, we'd love to have Niels van Wyk on from the rally sprint. It'll be a nice talk as well about the rally sprint, guys. So thank you so much for once again. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you.
And see you guys soon. And thank you for everything.
Cheers.
Good night, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Okay. Bye.
Say, oh my God, I see the way you shine. Take your hand, my dear, and place them both in mine. You know you stopped me dead while I was passing by. And now I beg to see you dance just one more time. Ooh, I see you every time. And oh my, I like your style.
Stefan versus Francisco will be the next battle. Rock did lose, I think, but not sure. No practice. Three, two, one.